Damn it! Where's my hood? Oh, gotta put my hood on. Gotta put my head. I'm fucking waiting. Well, nobody was waiting anyway, so. Let's see. Let's do this thing. Iron pants. Show my people. Oh, I'm not a sicko. I'm the opposite of a sicko. I'm a prude. Fucking prude. I don't know. It seems like a good night to go live. Went live earlier. Thank God. After you reminded me. I'm a spunion. I'm not liking this a bit. There. That's me all over. Look, I filled the screen with my beauty. I don't look that bad. Beer's looking pretty good. Didn't quite get all the nicotine and coffee out, but beyond that, it's better than it was. Last drive. Improvement, not perfection, like those stupid ass AA people. By the way, kids, it doesn't work. It works exactly the same percentage of people find recovery doing nothing than on AA. But I guess it's a lot of fun. Lousy way to meet dames and boys and no, not boys. Excuse me. I take that back. Well, if there's the same age group, yeah, it's still a bad idea. So if it's a bad idea, I'm not gonna sweat that. And if you're getting off dopes or the boozes, you shouldn't be in a relationship. I've learned that the hard way so many times. And the whole thing that only a drunk can understand a drunk, that's bullshit. I don't know. What else is bullshit? Um, you have to do it for yourself, not everyone else. Oh, no. A lot of people get clean or whatever. Terminology is stupid. Yeah, you can use people as anchors. You can use people as a reason, a way of validating your current self. And just because you've been drunk or stoned for a long time, it doesn't mean everything you've learned is lost. Nothing's lost. You're going to learn from being drunk and high. Put yourself into situations where you learn a lot about yourself, your follies, and your virtues. I'm late. How can I be late? Oh, I'm not very late. 5 minutes. I'm usually early. A couple of regulars I thought would show up, but again, I already streamed and what? It's Friday. Where are you people? It's Friday. Or Saturday for most of you. Not all of you. I wonder what time it is in Scotland. What time is it in Scotland? Somebody came, somebody split. To be understood, to be expected. Frankly, it's this time I'm just babbling to Aspie because I don't know, a whole bunch of people are in an intrigue and it's conspiracy. You don't need to know about that because it's a secret. It is a conspiracy. We're in a cult. If you don't know about the cult, you're better off. It's kind of like a goth MK Ultra without the dope. Well, some of my friends are on dope, but that's a whole another thing. I I miss being on drugs. God, it's just going through some nostalgia about a prostitute friend of mine from the ancient. Maybe I'll tell the hooker with a heart of gold story until somebody just derails me, which will be fun. When I lost my job after like 4 years, I think, and I had a roommate who wanted to get rid of me, and the whole thing was just my life was disintegrating, and I purposely just let it happen and crumble. Didn't even try to get unemployment. I figured I'm gonna take my money, get the hell out, and just drink till I die. Till I die. So that's the premise. So around that time, I went to downtown Santa Cruz, and I was fucking drunk off my ass. So I'm wandering around. I barely remember this. I was in a lame decider, and I just witched it out and took a pee. I had to take a pee. One of my friends in traffic said, "Mark, did you?" No, it wasn't me. So, not in a pervert way. It's just I needed to pee. So, and then I just crossed the street, and then a speed freak friend of mine slash junkie saw me and decided to get me off the street before I went to jail. She'll let me just go to jail, but who knows? Because that was before the beating, and they just would have put me in the drunk tank where I belonged. But now I end up at a shit motel room with like 4 guys and 1 woman, and they kind of just took care of me. Like, just go to sleep, drink this beer, and pass yourself out. So I passed myself out and woke up and saw things, hookery things. Like, okay, this is what's going on. That's fine. Not my. I'm not partaking. She seemed like a nice woman, And in the morning, I woke up and kept my eyes closed, and this woman, naked as a jaybird, is on the phone with her mother, saying, "Yeah, I got a job as a receptionist, and I'm gonna spend more money to the kids." And this woman was just so cool. And then she gets off the phone and says, "Are you all right?" It's like, I said, "No, I'm fine now." And nobody stole my money. It's like some of my money fell out of my pocket and was still there. Like, make sure nobody stole your money. Like, holy crap, or anything else, ID or anything else I had. I had no idea at the time. I had no idea. So I figured, I'm going to get dressed. And I said, hey, young lady, you got some money. You want to go to the out to the jury room bar, which, by the way, is made famous by little Eddie Kemper. Just hang out. You see at that bar. That's just a great bar. Some people call it a dive, but it was a morning and afternoon bar for people like me, or at night it was hipsters. Calling it a dive. I'd go to a dive. I'm not like poo. I'd have them smoke Camel cigarettes and then I'd drink PBR. Not my scene, man. I'm old. I was born old. I was going to old man bars when early 20s because I liked them better because they told stories and new stuff. And that's back then. You had World War II vets and Korean War vets, and then died off. They're just old men, and you started talking with them and asked them questions. Socratic method. You learn more by asking questions. Always ask questions and keep it coming, and those people will start telling you stuff. And it was poetic and rhapsodic and really cool. And I liked them. They're my old geezer friends. But anyway, I take this woman to a bar and treat her like the lady she is. I'm buying her drinks and tipping and chatting her up. And I started to get too drunk. She's kind of pushed me out of the bar and said, "Just go home. And I did. But she saved my neck, allowing me to sleep in her hookery room and get some rest and not stealing from me and showing some care in a naked hooker kind of way, but really kind of in a matriarchal way. It's like, yeah, she's just, kissed her on the cheek and on my way and Don't think I ever saw her again, but God bless her. Yeah. That's kind of the universe I lived in, and I'm happy to have lived through it because I met my share of really nasty people, but I really remember the good eggs, man. People who lived the underground. I don't think there's much of an underground anymore, or it's different. But that one, the vanishing one, was cool. But hipster, when the original uh, concept was different. You were a hipster because uh, you're cool, but you were semi-criminal. You lived by a criminal code of which there really was one, and you met people and saw things. It's a world I liked. Never felt really at home in the middle class world. Never did. Wasn't born to it. Parents were strictly middle class, but drunken middle class. Mildly criminal middle class, lower middle class. But we could have had more money. But my parents drank a lot and went out a lot. Went in hawk a lot. Always, they lived in debt their entire lives. Just what it is what it is. They're terrible with money, and it definitely hurt me a little. I could have used some discretionary income. My friends all had a little, not a lot, but enough. I was getting $5 a week, and they were getting 20 bucks back then. You could actually go to movies, have a date, and I always had shit jobs too. So was able to save, buy a motorcycle, stuff like that. Had a Triumph 650 for a while, 1969. Midnight blue. Didn't have it that long, but I had it. I looked cool. I mean, Hell's Angels would envy my bike because they all wanted to have hard Triumphs when they grew up. Triumphs always were cooler than and prettier bikes than Harleys. Never did like Harleys much. Never went through the mythos. My mom grew up in the biker universe. I don't remember, but shit, it sticks with you. Second generation. She was pissed off when I had a Japanese motorcycle, even though she gave it to me. But when I had the Triumph, my dad jumped on and took my mom for the ride. Never took me on a ride. Well, I was crazy. So she just, that's a beautiful bike. You have a beautiful bike now. You have a proper motorcycle. Don't join a club. You can't really join a club when you're riding a Triumph. But they're fun bikes. I mean, they take corners if you know how to ride them right. You need to learn how. You need to learn your center of gravity and whatnot, and anticipating shifting, and just being wary. Even though when I had a 750 Honda CB, those things were really the best bikes ever made. Not handling, no, but mechanically, and they would take some harsh treatment, and they wanted to go fast. And if you bored them out right, you could get 130 miles an hour out of them. I learned because I rode my Honda that fast on many an occasion and wanted to die. But I always, I always didn't want to kill the motorcycle. A poor thing. I was going to take it over a cliff. Many times I went up to a cliff and waited. Tonight is the night. Tonight is the night. I'm going to die. I'd suppress those memories forever. How much I wanted to die, and how much I was cheating death, and whatever else I was doing. I can't believe I'm getting thumbs up. That's cool. I have the best friends. Apparently, people listen to me. Why? Why? I don't know. I have stories. Do young people have stories anymore? Is that gone? Is anybody going out alone and exploring the world trying to unlearn fear. God, I sound like Manson, but it's true. Because I was afraid of the entire universe, and then I started hitchhiking and stuff. And going out the door with very little money and just the stuff under your back, and you're going to hitchhike and trust that you will eat, which I generally did. When on the road, it was harder not on the street. Living on the road was so much easier than on the streets by a long shot. Being alone was much easier because you're always aware. Like, you could take a break when you're hitchhiking if the guy was cool, or you got women picking me up, and just some perverts, but they were innocuous. Like I'm not gonna. I'll tell you if you let me. Well, I'll give you money if you do such and such. Like no, thanks. I'm here for transportation. They'd either let you out at a decent place or give you a ride. One guy 250 miles an hour out of his way just because I turned down his proposition, but it was good chat. The guy just said, I need to chop you off, but just tell me another story. And it was a really nice convertible. I couldn't tell you what the make was, but it was just, you know, raging queen in a convertible. And we're just talking about everything. And showed him my favorite place to get kicked, left off, and it was really neat. And I could still find the place. Really, it's the bypass to go get over to Salinas and Monterey and stuff. Like neat, middle of nowhere, further than a ride, but you could get a ride to Big Sur from there. And I always ended up in Big Sur. I spent a lot of time just being at Big Sur, hitchhiking nonstop sometimes. Sometimes it takes 2 days. But, I carried water, I carried food, I carried booze. I always had booze. For Big Sur, it was always a box of wine. Box wine, to get rid of the box and just nestle it in just properly and hopefully it wouldn't leak. And it saved weight. Space bags were cool. And the wine was pretty okay. And now commercially, they do dispense quality wine in boxes. I mean, it's actually the best way to store wine because they pump all the oxygen out, and it's CO2, so the wine stays fresh yet vintage. Yeah, a lot of people turning up the nose at box wine. They don't realize the wine they're getting at the fancy place is box wine. That's where your Vin Rouge Ordinaire comes from, which is French for mediocre wine. You're right, Dirty. And you know what you can do with a space bag? When it's empty, you can blow it up and you get a hobo pillow. I did that a lot, and it really, yeah. Or you can, if you do it right, you can make a canteen out of them. So, fuck. And then you have a box for storage. And you win. You gotta learn that shit. Hobo wisdom is the best wisdom. Yeah. Those were different times, and a lot of those days were really hard. Trying to hitchhike with people was the worst punishment for the most part. I met some cool people, but yeah, always took twice as long, and I couldn't teach people how to panhandle the way I did. It's like you got to support yourself, man. I don't want to feed you. I don't want to get you drunk. So I did that a few times. It's like hitchhike camping with people. Bad idea. You're always going to get caught. I didn't like getting caught. I was a stealth camper, and people wouldn't learn stealth. They want to light fires. You can't do that. You want to make a lot of noise. You can't do that. You got to have friends over. You can't do that. I had so many rules, but hey, you want to camp with me? I'm the boss because I know what I'm doing. I know exactly. Camping, I knew what I was doing. Sure, I got wet and cold a lot. Hard not to when you're living in the redwoods and on a slope, and all the water's coming your way, and you can't get a pallet. You can't get it down there. But I got better. My last camp was strictly perfect. I need to go back to that place. It's not that far from me, and I can do that. Would love to get some decent footage. Maybe when it clears up, I'll camp for a day or two. Maybe I'll reduce my meds for a couple days and get drunk for a couple days. I can do that. I don't know if I'll do that or not. It's a fleeting temptation. Excuse me. Well, that's enough story time for y'all. I hope somebody listened to it and enjoyed it, or parts of it, or parcels of it, because I don't know. People have told me a few times that they like my stories, so stories they shall have. Anyway, whoever's out there, and Wizard, thank you for at least saying hi. I do appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. And anybody listening, I appreciate it. You have a good night. Get off, you beast.